What's going on, YouTube? Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, man. Come on, don't be a player hater. Hit that subscribe button, man. Let's go. What's happening, YouTube? Today we got another great video. We're gonna talk about the individuals from San Jose. Shout out the Shark Tank, man. And we're also gonna talk about the individuals from Fresno, the F14ers, the Bulldogs. We're gonna get into their internal confrontations that they used to have back in the day when Bulldogs were with the North, when Bulldogs were with the, where everything was all one before the split, when the F14s were still looked at as hermanos, So we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna get into this discussion, man. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button before we go any further. Let's get it. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a long time and you've been subscribed, I have these OGs in my family, these old veteranos that's been doing time since time was created, man. You feel me? These dudes been there. They've seen everything. They know everybody. That all them dudes that these other YouTube channels talk about, that's them is their homeboys. You know what I'm saying? They know all these dudes, and I've been fortunate enough to grow up with these guys, you feel me? And get the game from these dudes, get the clutcha from these dudes, get the history, first-hand history from these dudes, you feel me? And I got family from San Jose, I got family from Stockton, I got family from everywhere, right? And they always told me about this inner beef within the Nortenos and the higher-ups between the Fresno core and the San Jose core. Like, it was real. It was real beef, bro. Like, the San Jose core and the Fresno core had some real internal shit going on back in the day, you feel me? And the way they always put it, bro, is like it was pretty much a power struggle between the two biggest cores from the north. Fresno being a huge core, being a huge power player within the northern movement. Same thing with San Jose being a huge core, being a huge power player in the northern movement. That they struggled for power when it came to these two cores. Now, the San Jose core had its following as well. Of course, the San Jose and the people from San Jose, the Sharksteros. All the other cities around San Jose, of course, followed under that San Jose core, hung around the San Jose guys, and there was a lot of separation back in those days. There was a lot of homeboy favoritism, a lot of, oh, we don't fuck with them vatos, you know what I'm saying? But you guys are all one movement. It's all one movement, but there's a lot of that separation, a lot of picking sides and who you're gonna kick it with, and homeboy favoritism and all that, right? And so same thing was happening in the valley. While the San Jose had the Salinas area and the Gilroy and the Milpas and all these other little cars around San Jose gravitating towards them, Fresno had Stockton, Modesto, Madera, Merced, and all the other cities around Fresno gravitated towards Fresno. Now, people would think Stockton would be its own core, right? Well, Stockton leaned more towards Fresno than they did San Jose, or even had their own core. But to what I was told, Stockton and Fresno was really, really close back in the day. Like, they were tight. Like, you feel me? If you've seen one, you've seen the other. They was always together. They did missions together. And to what I was told, a lot of them felt like they were the ones doing all the dirty work. You feel me? The guys from Fresno and the guys from Stockton felt like they was the ones putting in all the work, while the San Jose guys sat up there on their high horse and you feel me, try to take all the glory for what they were doing. Now, like I said, I got family from San Jose, so of course I have to, hey man, what's up, you feel me, woo. OG veteranos too. And they would give me their side of it. Them fools were just hating. They would say the Fresno guys were just mad because a lot of times the dudes from San Jose had the keys to the yard. A lot of the time the dudes from San Jose were deeper than mostly every other homeboy on the yard. The San Jose car was most likely the deepest on every yard. And the dudes from Fresno were just hating and didn't like that. You ask the guys from Fresno, they would say, them dudes, and the guys from Stockton, they would say that they were putting in all kinds of work while the guys from San Jose just sat around and barked orders all day. And they weren't feeling that. And that's why there was this internal beef. And it was real. I think some other YouTubers talked about it. I'm not sure. But the San Jose and Fresno beef was real. And Stockton linked up with Fresno. They were more close with Fresno. And you got to understand, like, they're both Valley boys. You feel me? They're both from the Valley. They're both right there. And I was told that they looked at San Jose as similar to the way other cities in Southern California view LA, Los Angeles. Like, oh, they think they're the shit just because they're from LA. That's how they viewed San Jose. Oh, they think they're the shit just because they're from San Jose. The guys from Stockton and Fresno were like, shit, we with the shit too. We with the business just as much as you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? If not more. That's how they felt. And that's what gave them their chip on their shoulder and had the way they moved. You feel me? To my understanding, some may even say that's what played a role in the Fresno guys leaving the Northern movement. You know, the friction between that was already there building up between them and the San Jose dudes, who were in a lot of power, you know, throughout the years. And if you ask anybody from CYA that done time maybe in the 90s or the 80s, they would tell you that the Valley, the San Jose versus Fresno core beef is real. They would tell you, anyone from YA in the 80s and maybe the 90s, they would tell you that beef is real. And I'm talking, you know, the dudes that I'm talking about they've been YA in the 70s, early 70s. You feel me? Prison in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I think somebody even hit the CYA in the late 60s. You feel me? So, and they were telling me this beef was even there back then, bro. Like the late 60s, early 70s, and these niggas was beefing then. You feel me? The Fresno versus the motherfucking Sharkstados. Like, bro, that beef goes back, bro. Before the North and South beef. You feel me? The Fresno and fucking San Jose core has been beefing before the Norte and the Serranos. You know what I'm saying? This shit's real, my nigga. Ask anybody, OG from San Jose, OG from Fresno. You feel me? They'll tell you. I'm pretty sure a lot of the OGs from Fresno would be like, man, fuck them San Jose dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100. A couple of the OGs I know from Stockton, they'll be like, man, fuck them vatos. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the San Jose dudes. I'm like, man, what you tripping on the homies from San Jose? Man, that's my family. Like, who? Like, man, fuck them vatos. Homes, like, them fools ain't shit. They ain't nada, Like, what? Like, that's how them niggas talk, bro. Like, them vatos ain't shit, homes. Like, them fools ain't doing shit on the yard, Like, I swear to God, bro, that's how they talk. Like, them vatos ain't doing shit. I swear, bro. So, and if you ask someone from San Jose, they might tell you something different. Cause I know my family from San Jose do. You feel me? They'd be like, man, them fools from Stockton and Fresno were just mad. Woo, woo, woo. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it depends on who you ask, but you don't get the similar story that there was beef between these two cores. Let me know in the comments, have you heard about this confrontation? You feel me? This internal confrontation that was going on. If you're from San Jose, man, salute to San Jose. Ask your big homies about the internal beef between the F14ers and the Sharkstados. Because that's what it was. It was the F14ers versus the Sharkstados, man. Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. It's the kid, and I'm gone.